All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for a video keeping you informed on cryptocurrency every day. My name's Austin. Listen to Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, the mouthpiece for the Trump administration, the U.S. government, when asked a question on what is the U.S. government doing when it comes to tracking illegal cryptocurrency transactions, and the answer that cryptocurrency FinCEN regulation is coming sooner than you think. Watch this.
Mr. Secretary, when you testified to this committee last year about the Treasury's budget, I spoke about the importance of robustly funding Treasury Department programs that combat terrorist funding streams and other forms of illicit financing. For example, terrorists and other transnational criminal organizations are increasingly using cryptocurrencies to finance their activities, due in no small part to the difficulty inherent in tracing these transactions and tying funds to specific actors. Mr. Secretary, how will the Treasury's proposed budget increases assist the Department in monitoring suspicious cryptocurrency transactions and prosecuting terrorists and other criminal organizations financing illicit activities with cryptocurrency?
Well, first of all, thank you, and thank the committee for the generous support on us funding increases in these areas over the last several years. We've really built up a very dedicated career staff. And specifically on cryptocurrencies, we are spending a lot of time on this on both an interagency basis and with the regulators. We're about to roll out some significant new requirements at FinCEN. We want to make sure that technology moves forward, but on the other hand, we want to make sure that cryptocurrencies aren't used for the equivalent of old Swiss secret number bank accounts. So we share your concerns, and you'll be seeing a lot of work coming out very quickly.
We'll be seeing a lot of work coming out very quickly. Mnuchin says the U.S. is planning cryptocurrency rules on transparency very quickly. And this, of course, is to protect us, protect the businesses, and prevent digital currency money laundering. If you're a cryptocurrency hodler, you pay attention. These next few months could be very interesting. But you know what? This is really what I wish we would get some protection on. Centralization on steroids. How 37 banks became 4 in just 2 decades. People forget this, that in the 90s, we had a plethora of different banking options that you could choose, and this competition, this capitalism, would keep everybody honest. 2 decades later, we have 4. Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. We have 4. But that's not all, because just one day before, the U.S. government is continuing to ask questions here. Just one day before, the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, Chairman Powell, spoke in front of Congress again. The 2 questions are where are we with America's CBDC, central bank digital currency, and how will ours be different? If it will exist, how will ours be different than, let's say, China's CBDC?
I also encourage the Fed to keep a watchful eye on Facebook's efforts to launch a cryptocurrency and digital wallet, which, as we discussed at our last hearing, could have profound implications for monetary policy and compete with our own U.S. dollar. In light of the many risks Facebook's plans to create, I and other Democrats have called on Facebook to halt their plans until Congress can examine the issues associated with the big tech company developing these digital products and take action.
Chairman Powell, so how would you characterize your state of progress on this compared to other countries? The Swedish central bank developing an e-krona, the Chinese. The reason that there was one of the reasons there was so much concern about the Libra project is they would immediately have scale if they just rolled out the product. Another entity in a position to do that is the Chinese government, to roll out at scale using their already established payment by cell phone systems. They would immediately have a scale comparable to Facebook if they rolled that out. And so how would you characterize our ability to respond to this potentially competitive threat?
So we're working hard on it. We have a lot of projects going, a lot of efforts going on that right now. We haven't had the problem that many of you mentioned. Sweden. A lot of the Northern European economies have moved away from cash to a remarkable degree, and that really has not happened in the U.S. economy, even though it seems like it must have happened with our kids not using cash very much. Nonetheless, the amount of cash in the U.S. economy continues to grow at faster than nominal GDP. So we're in a
but
different place on that.
if you look at the curve of adoption of payment by cell phone, it starts slowly and then all of a sudden it just happens. And so that seems like that transition can happen in a period of just a couple of years. And so we have to be able to respond. If that's the driving factor, then we have to be in a position where we can respond by rolling out, for example, a digital dollar on the couple of year time scale. And so
I completely agree with that. And I think, frankly, Libra really lit a fire under that, and it was a bit of a wake-up call that this is coming fast and could come in a way that is, that is quite widespread and systemically important fairly quickly if you use one of these big tech networks like Libra did. So we're working hard on it. We fully appreciate the importance of making quick progress. We have not decided to do this, though. It is not. I think that there are many questions that need to be answered around a digital currency for the United States, including issues of cyber issues, privacy issues. Many operational alternatives present themselves, and so we're going to be working through all that and doing that work thoroughly and responsibly. But with some
do you feel as though you have adequate visibility into what the Chinese are doing on this? Do you have sort of working level contacts that give you some idea of what their rollout is likely to do, likely to look like?
Yes, I mean, we certainly have that, but they're in a completely different institutional context. There are things that, for example, the idea of having a ledger where you know everybody's payments. That's not something that would be, particularly attractive in the United States context. It's not a problem in China. So, but nonetheless,
but so from a competitive point of view, they're claiming they're going to roll it out on the Belt and Road countries sometime very quickly, and so this, I urge you to keep the fire lit. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the Fed claims, hey, we're nowhere near issuing a U.S. digital dollar, a CBDC, nothing like that anytime soon. Yeah, you heard it. The U.S. Congress saying, keep the fire lit, keep pushing this. Other countries certainly are. Now here, the one shining light, Fed chairman shows support for private crypto transactions, or what he really said is, we're not like China. China is interested in a CBDC to better track its civilians' transactions. We're a different country. That's not on our agenda, is what they say. Now they told us, the NSA told us for years they weren't watching us, tracking our data. Edward Snowden whistle blew that out of the water, but at least they're saying that they're not as corrupt as China. They're saying. But needless to say, the U.S. Treasury, the Fed, the U.S. government, they're asking more and more questions on cryptocurrency. On this channel, we drop a video every single day, keeping you informed. Hit subscribe. You do not want to miss, if you're a crypto holder, a Bitcoin holder, you do not want to miss one of our daily videos keeping you informed. Next piece of news, margin trading is now available on Coinbase Pro. So Coinbase, which used to be just an exchange, is now becoming closer to the BitMEXs, the Binances. It doesn't have 100x leverage trading yet, but starting today, Coinbase Pro customers in 23 U.S. states can access up to 3x leverage on USD quoted books. Next piece of news, a green flag coming out of the U.S. government. The IRS does not consider Fortnite money as virtual currency after all. And this is important because the U.S. government taxes transactions with virtual currency. Obviously, you not tax Fortnite bucks, V-Bucks, but the Internal Revenue Service removed wording on its website that put game currencies as examples of a convertible virtual currency. This clarification is important as a new tax filing requirement obliges taxpayers to report whether they dealt with virtual currencies. And this is just being reported today. Previously, before the change, official guidelines on the IRS website indicated Fortnite's V-Bucks and Roblox's Robux as examples of virtual currencies, and even a spokesperson from Epic Games was rallying that the US government shouldn't be counting these game currencies as virtual currencies for taxation, because V-Bucks, for example, cannot be digitally traded between users, between you and me, cannot, nor can it be exchanged into US dollars, euros, and any other real virtual currencies. Purely in-game. And now the US government, small green flag, came around. I like that. That is the news for today. My name's Austin. Like always, I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, check out this live stream last night. I couldn't have been a part of it. I wish I could have, but good stuff. Check it out.